Welcome to the Turtle Club. Hey, everybody.
Hi, guys.
We're here, everybody. It's the Turtle Club, everybody.
Why are you talking about that?
Turtle
Hey,
Club.
buddies. It's the Turtle Club.
Why are you talking
Hey,
about
buddies. Hey,
It's the
buddies.
Turtle Club.
Eli, what is with you peeking the fucking mic every 2 seconds?
Did
at
it
this-
peak again?
Yeah,
I didn't even need the fucking air horn this
Oh
time.
my god.
You blew my ears out on my end.
You piece of shit.
All right. Welcome to the Turtle Club. My name's Eli.
Welcome
I've
to the
seen The
Turtle
Master
Club.
Disguise a total of 61 times. Boom.
Oh, damn. My name is it's your boy Dave. I've seen the Master of Disguise 44 times.
This is Michael. I've seen the Master of Disguise 89 times.
What was that? What was that? How much?
89?
89.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Couldn't go
boy.
for the
And
90,
we have a
but-
guest, everybody. Chris, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name's Chris. I tried really hard to beat Dave this month in watches, and I mean really hard. But I hit kind of a mental health wall. So my name is Chris, and I have seen The Master of Disguise 35 times in the year of 2022.
Wow.
Damn,
Jesus
just
fucking
short.
Christ.
Just short.
You know what's embarrassing, though? You know what's embarrassing? Dave is not even... Like, you're super close to Dave. Like, that's like...
Yeah.
My goal
That's
was
embarrassing for
55.
Dave.
My
That's
goal was
embarrassing
55. Yeah.
Dude.
That's
Why?
truly
Shit,
embarrassing
a
for
month?
Dave. Dave, you're on those. You're slacking, buddy
Yeah,
boy.
Dave.
That's
No.
some
See, look,
bullshit.
I'm not trying to oversaturate myself so I can only appreciate the peak levels of comedy that is Gaming on Those.
Mm-hmm.
So so last month we had Cindy on, and it was we had a nice intellectual conversation. It was
It
wonderful.
was good.
Smarter than we
And
deserve.
Michael did some shit talking on Chris here.
Yep.
I did shit talking on a lot of people last episode.
Yeah, last episode Michael was
honestly.
feeling sassy.
I was.
And
wow.
I think Chris is going to deliver on all these promises. He said some things to us that are wonderful, which is perfect, because honestly, this is the least prepared I have been for one of these episodes.
Easily.
Let's
Easily.
go.
I just
I'm
like,
the
I don't
same,
know
too.
if it's just like the time of year it is, where I am just like losing my enthusiasm for Master of Disguise. Like, I thought I had lost it, but like anger and hatred and like melancholy, those are emotions. I feel nothing about Master of
Yeah.
Disguise anymore.
Yeah, you'll hit that
I,
for a
like
month.
genuinely, it's just become kind of a part of my life now. It's like as normal as breathing.
Yep.
It's just like, yeah,
So
I watch
it's,
Master of Disguise a
So
few
Chris,
times a week.
do you, before we get into notes, Chris, do you have anything you want to say to my attacks against your character, or how did it feel when I said that? Like, I'm just curious what your thought process is.
I was actually really pumped. So last episode, while I was listening to it, before you even said anything, a lot of my notes came up in the episode from like a lot of different people, especially Sydney. So
I don't believe that.
I'll give you dates of what days the notes came up. I have them all dated. So
God.
I felt a little hurt that you thought I was going to be chaotic. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be chaotic, but I'm going to bring a level of intelligence that you guys haven't even fathomed yet. I'm
Chris,
so
I
excited.
just want to... Chris, you make some of the dumbest music I've ever heard in my life. I don't know.
Hey,
do.
hey.
Wow.
So, like,
Okay.
I feel like my opinion was pretty valid.
Very.
You know?
So yeah, to speak on that a little bit, Michael, that is what we call in the business a character. So I'm playing a character.
Not, he's breaking kayfabe a little bit here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not
I thought
supposed to
that
talk
was
about
you. I
No,
thought you
no.
were an Amish man who broke out of that society.
No, we're
To
two
be-
completely.
okay.
Yeah, we're different people. I'm Big
Oh.
Amish's manager. So I manage him. We're different people.
Big Amish,
I
the
gotcha.
rapping Amishman.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
are you
it's
saying
beautiful stuff.
you mastered the disguise of pretending to be Big Amish when in fact it's another person?
I'm just gonna say that I'm a master of disguises.
Yeah.
That's
So
big
before
talk.
we get
That's
into
some big
the
talk.
fucking dumbass note shit, okay, quick update from the main host here. How we doing?
You know what? Pretty good, actually.
Oh, shut up.
Like, actually pretty good. I will admit that I kind of felt at the beginning of the month the exact same emotions that you were going through. Because, like, last month I'm like, yeah, I'm doing all right. Things are going all okay. And then I started watching it, kind of getting back in the routine of watching it again and again. And then, like, I started to like dip pretty low. I got to this point where it was like I was watching The Master of Disguise, and I noticed that like I had spent so much time on my phone that I had already missed the first half of the movie, and I'm at the Turtle Club scene. And I went, you know what? I can't do this. Put my phone down, I slid it across the table, I rewound the tape, and I started over. And it was weird doing that because I thought I had to like force myself to sit here and watch this, and instead I got this kind of like renewed enjoyment again. Like I'm back to kind of having a decent time watching this movie.
Yeah.
That's I can sort of relate to that on some level because when I tripped balls a couple months ago and watched it 3 times in a row, I felt like sort of like I had a new start with the movie. I felt like we had come to understand each other a little bit better. But honestly, that did not last long for me because like I hate it. This is stupid. This is fucking. I hate this so much. Like.
It's because
I hate the fact about myself that I do this for a podcast. It's awful. Like that feeling where Michael gets embarrassed about it, I'm starting to get it a little bit more.
Yeah, so from some minor fault of my own, some coworkers found out about this little escapade of ours.
Ooh.
They don't know about the podcast, but they know about me watching it all the time.
Really?
And they think I like it, and they can't seem to understand why I would be doing this if I didn't like it. And
I mean,
think
do you not?
I've been thinking about finding a new job, to be honest with you.
They think you like the movie?
Yeah,
That's
like,
why you're watching it 90
Okay,
times?
Alright. So how it happened...
89.
I was going to save this for my notes, but I guess I need to bring it up now. Someone at work said turtle in context for something, and we were all just like hanging out in the break room, and I started just like quoting that scene, and they're like, "Why do you know that scene?" And I couldn't. I just admitted it.
Wow. But you didn't admit the part about the podcast?
No, that's so embarrassing. I'm a fucking white 24-year-old. I can't.
I think it might even be worse to tell them that you've watched it 90 times for no reason.
89. I don't know.
I genuinely think that is weirder. Like, if someone told me that it was for a podcast, at least there's a reason there. But if someone's just like, oh yeah, I watched it 89 times this year just cuz. Like, that's crazy.
I said, okay, what? Fuck you. No. Okay, it's not. Because I said it was for a challenge by friends, and we bet each other to see who would watch it the most. So that's better than a podcast.
What a cop-out.
That's better than a podcast, right?
I don't know. I guess so.
Chris,
so.
Right, okay. Right.
I mean, it's valid. Yeah, I get it.
It's still
Because
crazy behavior.
If you tell them that there's
Honestly.
a podcast, then there's proof.
Right, and I do not need my fucking coworkers listening to me like this. I have a very curated image at work. It's not going to get tampered by the Master of Disguise, the Turtle Club podcast, okay?
No, that makes sense. So, Michael, how are you feeling about the movie? You're the one who's watched it the most by far.
Pretty good, right?
It's just kind of a thing.
No, like what I was saying earlier, it's just become routine at this point.
I've been like this for a while. I've really had no change in my opinion on the movie for about 3 months now.
I know, and you know what's even weirder about this? So I'm starting to lose my knowledge on the movie a little bit the more regularly I watch it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're disassociating more and more from it.
Well, it's almost like a separation where, like, the other day, someone, I don't even remember what the context was, but someone made a joke about Fabrizio laughing, and in my head, I was thinking, does Fabrizio laugh in this movie?
Yeah.
And I couldn't think of it. And honestly, I think, like, a couple months ago, I would have fucking known that right on the spot. Like, I'm just like, as it becomes more of a normal thing, it's just sort of like how your heart beats and you don't even have to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's like what it's becoming for me. It's like just an internal organ. Maybe it's a tumor.
It is a tumor.
Could be.
It's I don't know. Whatever. Dave,
So
you
like,
can start it on your notes. This is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, still, that's pretty cool to like. That's pretty cool to approach because now it's just becoming like, it's you're no longer conscious of it. You're more just like subconscious that you have to do this. It's
like, it just
it's
happens.
an interesting angle to look at. Honestly, for me, like this month went pretty good. I had a couple of good watches in. My favorite, I will admit, I had a few friends come over. Shout out to my boy Adam. Come over and kind of like help encourage me to keep watching it, like help to renew my vigor in it. But one big event that I did was I roped in a bunch of coworkers and given like 6 people all to take the same day off with me, and we did what I called the Turtle Club fan meet, and we all just watched the Master of Disguise. Now, I love hearing people's reactions to like mentioning the movie, because every now and then you'll get somebody that just goes, "Oh yeah, I used to watch that movie when I was a kid. I love that movie. Yeah, it's hilarious."
Yeah.
And then like we get all the way up until like we start to watch the movie, the opening credits and stuff go through, and they're all having a good time, and they're all kind of laughing like, this is a little ridiculous. It's a little bit weirder than we expected or than we remembered. And then we hit the Prince Lalijama scene, and that tone shifts hard. That tone shifts so hard.
It's like a jump scare. It comes out of nowhere.
It does.
It's really bad. Like it was funny because I mean, the scene came on. People are starting to go like, "Oh boy." Meanwhile, I'm in the background going like, "Well, what do you mean? What do you mean? This is the best movie ever. You guys were talking about how much you love this movie, right? Isn't it great?" And they're like, I don't know. And it's like that. It's such a fast deflation of what they thought the movie was.
Yeah. It's the movie's better
It's
after
bad.
that scene, though. Honestly,
No,
Yeah.
no. So we talk about how there's a turnaround in this movie a lot, and it's like kind of near the halfway scene.
yeah.
And I think it's the Turtle Club that's the change.
It's the full change there, but I think even after the Prince Lalijama is a slight upswing.
I don't know, because like what between that is like what there's
Hiring of Jennifer, and that's
the hiring of
better.
Jennifer
I
is
think
not
that's
very
better.
good. That whole
I
montage
agree.
sucks ass.
But I think it's
Yeah.
better than what comes before it. And
I think
the full swing is the Turtle Club.
I think
It
the
goes-
most miserable I get during this movie, in my recent watches anyway, is when like that scene where the grandpa's leaving and they do their stupid old song and dance, and like that just goes on for ages. I feel.
Yeah, you know
like,
what? This
I
is
feel
an
like
interesting
it
question.
really does.
I think the most miserable I get is during the training montage.
the training montage. That doesn't bother me as much because of the I don't know, like the music and all that, and there's like things happening.
Yeah. And it's
No,
kind
because
of
at
funny
who, why,
because
where, when, how, all that shit, like, I know what's coming. Like, I know it's going to get better. But
It's
Like,
like
it's
I don't know. For me,
immediately
it's
after
like the night is darkest right before the dawn type of deal.
I gotcha. That makes sense.
Where like
Yeah.
so the scene between there where they're digging through the dumpster is like so nothing, and I forget about it a lot for some reason.
Yeah, it's a nothing
Same.
scene.
Like there's
It's
not
a
even like
really bad
jokes in it. Like besides his dumb little like gadgets.
internal monologue thing.
his team
But like
glasses.
the Turtle Club scene is like it's like a welcome surprise for me. Where it's like, hey, family, come on in. We're
Hey, I
like,
feel like this is the most we've talked about the contents of the movie in months.
no. So that's another thing that we wanted to talk about a
Yeah.
little bit is that like we have been talking about the content of the movie, especially like last month we did quite a bit. And just like I feel a disconnect a lot of times when I talk about this movie now.
Yeah.
Like, when I mention specific
it's-
details of Master Disguise, in my head, I'm not thinking of the Master Disguise. I'm thinking of the version of the Master Disguise that exists solely within my head.
So the correct version.
Yeah, with Cherry Pie Man and all that.
Yeah, the cherry pie
Prince, I
lore.
have a question for you, because this might
Yeah.
be good context.
Yeah.
When did you watch this movie for the first time?
So the first time I've ever seen The Master of Disguise was when I was a kid. I watched
Oh,
it
wow.
religiously, and
Oh.
I would quote it all the time. But
Huh.
years and years went on without seeing it. So I probably watched it from like the time it came out, 2002, to maybe like 05, and then I grew out of it and thought it was dumb. So the next time I watched it after that was in January, after I listened to the first episode. I know that. So maybe it was February. That was the first time I watched it, just to get some context to your guys' podcast.
Yeah.
And I realized then where a lot of like my random quotes came from, and it was from that movie. Like I used to all the time just be like India, 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 and have no idea where it come from. No idea.
Oh boy.
Anytime I read the word India in my head, I would go India, 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 which is terrible. Now I'm really mad at myself for that for all these years. But
In hindsight, yeah, it's bad.
in hindsight, it was terrible. But so yeah, the first time I watched it was when I was a kid. Now,
Nice.
when I watched it for the first time recently, I started to watch it with your version of Master of Disguise, so that might have ruined it for me.
Mm.
Made it better.
Well, you know what? That's another thing. I like one of the worst parts of our podcast is that you're required to watch the movie.
Once. At least you gotta get one watch in.
You have to watch it at least once to understand what we're talking about, and then maybe after a couple episodes, like watch it again with our context. That kind of thing. But that's like one of the biggest failings of this is that we are basically forcing our listeners to suffer.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of like a group suffering. You sort of like go through this Vietnam together.
Everybody
You know what
in
this
my
feels like?
personal life
Go
has
ahead.
watched this movie this year because of me.
Yeah, me too.
Same.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you know what I feel like with this podcast sometimes? It feels like an AA meeting where we're encouraged to keep drinking.
Yeah.
This
that is so
this
accurate.
is the meeting we're all like, come on, man, you can do it. You can keep getting drunk.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah,
like
come on.
we shouldn't be doing this anymore. This is so stupid. It's like, no, keep going.
You got
You
this,
can
brother.
do
4
it.
more shots, you'll finish this bottle.
Right, like it's just like I don't like. We used to say this podcast was therapeutic. I don't think it's therapeutic. I think it's manipulative. I think it's tricking me into doing this.
No, we've created a toxic environment for ourselves.
But in the same breath, it does kind of feel like this manipulative catharsis. Because it's like, we're suffering. We have this podcast. We keep dragging people into it. And then we just go, that was terrible, right? Yeah, you want to watch
Right,
it again?
okay, so but you guys had me thinking when we discussed this earlier of being like, why wouldn't you say there's a podcast? That's so weird that you wouldn't say that. I might agree with you now because it's like, I think I might have backed out by now if it wasn't because of this podcast.
Yeah. Like, if
Huh.
someone did this, like, on their own accord without having the, like, I guess, like, the necessity of a podcast,
Right.
I would have backed out around, like, fucking, I don't know, viewing, like, 20. Like, that was
Yeah.
awful.
Right, so like
Yeah.
I don't because it's like I am not doing this by myself. I drag people into this like Chris. I and then am recording it for 5 people to listen to. So it's like I just feel like I'm manipulating people and like I just feel like I am
Huh.
not in as good of a place as I thought it might have been.
We are exploiting our guests.
And ourselves.
Yes. This took a lot out of my mental health. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I
No,
did it to
yeah,
myself.
and we're gonna dig more into that with that statement you made earlier when we get to your notes, Chris, because
Honestly.
that stood out to me as something very interesting.
Yeah, I'll get into it.
But Dave, I'm so sorry. We went on a tangent. You may continue.
No, please. Honestly, the whole like group watches thing was kind of the one real big note that I really wanted to bring up. Like I'm doing all right. Like on watches, I'm not going to be like the leader for watches in a month, probably for a while. And on top of that, I mean, it's just genuinely like a strange environment that we constantly keep just dragging people in and going, oh yeah, I love this movie, like half jokingly, half lying directly to their face. But honestly that's kind of all I got. I'm really
Well, okay,
excited.
I have some questions then about this group viewing of yours with your coworkers.
Yeah,
So,
please.
what did they think?
So, like I said at the beginning, I kind of got like the group reaction. It was like, oh yeah, you know, I used to watch this movie as a kid, or I saw this movie at like a sleepover one time, and you know, and it's just like genuine, like nostalgia glasses kind of review, right? Like you always
Like
think
the
something's a
average
lot
thing
better.
where everyone's like, "Oh, I watched it as a kid, I loved it,"
So,
and then it's terrible.
Dave, quick question for you then. Are you saying that you're the nostalgia critic?
Oh my fucking god!
We got a regular Doug Walker up in here.
Big nostalgia critic fans on this podcast. Doug, if you ever want to come on, I will literally give you my firstborn baby.
You called him a pathetic hack in a past episode.
Yeah, he's a pathetic hack. He'd probably agree with me.
So, Dave,
yeah.
I want to get a good idea of this viewing here. So after the movie was over, did you question them? Like, did you ask them questions?
So yeah, I had all my friends over. I invited like 6 people. It was pretty funny. Again, like I questioned them in the beginning, and they were like, "Yeah, you know, I've seen this movie before. It's all fun." Get to the Prince Ali Jama scene. That's like the big pivot 180 moment, and then like they kind of just trudged through the rest of the movie. Like I'd get like a laugh every now and then. My favorite one was where like I would be pointing out the farts. And I'd be like, that's the fart that got snubbed for 2002's best fart. And then like nobody was laughing, and I'm like, what the hell? Like this was a clear runner-up. No one's laughing, so that kind of sucked. But
Could
after
have been the
movie
winner,
was-
honestly.
that's what I'm saying, or at
I
least the
agree.
one where like Devlin Bowman's running out after revealing Fabrizio as in the Dark Bowman disguise.
Listen. We can all agree that Scooby-Doo had a great fart scene, okay? Okay.
It was all right.
But it is nowhere near Devlin Bowman levels. Devlin Bowman is a professional.
Honestly,
100%.
yeah.
Brent Spiner, that guy's been farting for years.
Yeah, years before Scooby-Doo came on the scene.
Well, that stupid ass fucking Scream actor, that fucker couldn't fart to save his life.
Yeah, listen,
whatever.
Brent,
Hack.
Scream actor.
He was in Scream.
No one knows him for that.
Yeah, they do.
I'm not gonna lie, I saw Scooby-Doo before Scream.
Everyone our age did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I you know, after the movie was over, I started questioning everyone, and I'm like, yeah, so it's still the best movie ever, right? And I just get like a collective like heavy groan from the room. It's just
No,
like,
that's about right.
Oh god, no, it's not that good. Like, I mean, it's really problematic because of the Lolly Jama scene.
No, that's accurate. No, you're absolutely correct there. It's it's a rough one to show people. I've talked about it in this podcast, obviously, that I've shown people. I've never had a big group viewing, but I've shown quite a few people, and it's about the same reaction every time.
Yeah, it's...
Where, like, there's a couple laughs here and there. The Prince Lolly Jama scene really brings the mood down. The only
It's like a
people that
balloon.
seemed unaffected by that were my grandparents. But everyone else that I've watched it with is like, ew. Especially
Yeah.
when I watched it with like my friend who was like born and raised in India. She really
She loved
she
it,
didn't
right?
care for that for
She
some
liked
reason.
the
Never mind.
representation.
Yeah, I was like, what? This is representation in,
Yeah,
in
you
a
should be
Western
thankful.
movie. What's
Yeah.
your problem? But it was goofiness. So Dave, is that all you got? Can
Yeah,
we unleash the beasts over here?
Really, the last thing I've got was like my favorite thing whenever I have people over. I'm like, oh yeah, well, what's your top 3 disguises? And so the group was split between Terry Suave and
Yeah.
Gammy Num Num as number
No!
Eh,
Yes.
one. Quinn was a close second.
Quint.
Quint, whatever, was a close second. And the Turtle Club guy got 1 vote.
Dude, Gammy sucks.
Yeah, you suck.
You fuck you!
Hey,
Yeah, fuck
hey,
you!
This is a family-friendly podcast.
Yeah,
Since-
fuck me.
since- family.
when? No, it isn't. That's nonsense.
I've made
Am I not allowed to
horrible
swear?
jokes on this podcast that have needed to be cut in post. This
Oh.
is not a family-friendly
Yeah,
guy.
Michael's the
I
only
should-
person who needs to get censored.
No, Dave's gotten censored once.
Once.
I should
I'm the
probably
good
not
angel
show
boy.
this to those kids then. Ugh.
All right, fuck it, Chris.
All right, Chris,
Let's get
please.
started
Let's
on this.
go.
But Chris,
I am
before,
excited.
Chris, go ahead. You know, you
Okay.
seem to have a plan here. I'm just gonna let you freestyle it.
I really don't have a plan, but I do have a lot to kind of have a lot to get through. So
Okay, we'll just let you talk. We'll let you talk.
yeah,
Yeah, please.
We'll go over
You
I
guys-
wanna hear this.
interject wherever you need to.
Okay.
I will be kind of asking questions as well along
Yeah,
the way. So I have 6 total notes, or 6 pages of notes. I mean,
Oh my
Um,
god.
just
Yeah,
based on my. I'm not going through all of them. Yeah, I'm not going through all of them. They're just based on my watches, and then on top of that, I have a couple other tabs up of different things I'd like to speak on.
Okay.
So like I said, I've watched it 35 times this year. The first time
Respectable.
being thank you.
Yeah.
The first time being back in January, February, right like immediately after I listened to the first episode, I watched the movie. The second time was over at Eli's house. We watched it after Eli helps me record my music. So after I got done recording, we watched The Master of Disguise, got about 3/4 of the way through, and then I picked up from the exact spot that we left off at home. But I didn't take notes on those because I didn't know that I was going to be on the podcast. So I found out I was going to be on the podcast around the beginning of July. So my first watch that I have tracked is on July 11th. I was watching this while I was playing video games, but I was playing like Fall Guys, so I really wasn't paying attention to the game. I was
Right.
more or less watching the movie.
Right.
So my first note, I'm just going to go through this one, and then I'll kind of touch on other things throughout. But I want to
absolutely.
this one I definitely want to talk about.
Yeah.
So 7-Eleven. The first note I have is the dad watches Barney skateboard towards Pistachio, possibly uses Energico to make him crash. I'm talking about the grandpa here, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. A lot of, I'll say 95% of these watches are extremely under the influence of cannabis.
No, I understand that
That's-
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Sometimes
totally
I
fine.
skip over notes because I have no idea what the fuck I was thinking.
Same.
Right. I did it for science. I want you guys to know that I did all of this for science.
Yeah, Chris.
I mean, we are all
normally-
scientists.
Listen, Chris normally does not do any marijuana.
Yeah.
But
I usually
The
don't.
Path of the Lord.
But for the episode, he decided, I'm going to do this illegal, sinful substance.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the devil's lettuce.
Yeah. for us.
My first time using cannabis was actually on
Yeah.
7/11 2022, right before
Right.
I watched the movie.
First and only time.
Honestly,
I wouldn't
would
say
never.
only, but
It's amazing dedication. Thank you.
yeah, 99.9% of the time I was watching this movie, I was under the influence of marijuana.
Okay.
So my next note would be, what happened to Bernardo? Like, and this kind of ties back to some of the things you guys talked about before, is like when they got kidnapped, what happened to the restaurant, but what happened to Bernardo? I feel like he would be a pretty good backstory to kind of touch on.
Okay, I guess this is the question, and maybe I should know this by now, but I always assumed Bernardo doesn't work at Fabrizio's. I always figured he had his own place.
Well, it looks like he's in the uniform, and if you watch really closely at the beginning when Pistachio's coming down after the shaving cream scene, it sounds like he's saying, "Hey, Bernardo," but I can't make
isn't it a
out.
different actor?
I think it's a different actor.
Hey, Miko.
Oh, hey, Miko.
Amico.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
Okay, never mind. All right,
So
I'm
I always
sorry.
figured, no, don't apologize. I always figured Bernardo had a different place in, like, I figured that was like the Little Italy section, and I figured Bernardo had a different place. Now,
So,
this
like
brings
Bernardo
up a
is
good
a
question, though.
different Italian restaurant owner.
Yeah. So
Right.
this brings up
Freaking
an
up.
interesting thought I just had. What if Bernardo was working for Bowman?
All right, so that's another thing that I'm going to talk about. There's a lot of hidden. I'll get into it.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Bernardo, sketchy a little bit. Now my next sketch. My next note is: was the Revolutionary War started because George Washington wanted revenge on the Cherry Pie Man? That one.
That's just obvious, though.
So the
Right.
British were the cherry pie men? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm thinking. Again,
Okay.
I don't remember exactly where my headspace was while I was doing this watch, but I'm thinking that because they're the redcoats, it's similar to cherry
Oh
pie.
my god.
So it was
Oh my
red
fucking
because of the
God.
cherry pie.
'Cause obviously,
Possibly.
it wasn't for strategic advantage. You could see red coats through the forest like nothing.
Yep.
It was
Yeah,
to
100%.
represent the cherry pie.
The cherry
King
pie.
George was a cherry pie.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
I'm
George
thinking
Pie.
that possibly George Washington wanted revenge on the cherry pie men, and he started the Revolutionary War.
Which is why the disguises saved the cherry tree, George Washington's illegitimate son, as
No
David
fucking
claims.
way. It's all
Yeah.
coming together.
It's a possibility. So then after that, this is why I really wanted to touch on the date, 7/11. I say, where did the statue of Vishnu come from? In the we
Right.
talked about. So Sydney talked about Vishnu. Yeah, I talked about it on 7/11. So don't say that I'm going to be too chaotic. I'm bringing up
You know what
the
this
same
feels
notes.
like? You know what this feels like? This feels like when like your mom was like, "Hey, I need you to do this," and you're like, "I was just about to do that." No, you fucking weren't. This is a lie.
I believe
That's a
Chris.
lie.
I'm in Chris's corner here.
Yeah,
I think that
and
Sydney stole from him.
possibly she
Uh,
might. She's so smart she could read minds.
What if
and just
Sydney's a
read my
cherry
mind.
pie?
What if
Oh
she?
my
What if
fucking God.
Sydney's cherry
There's
pie?
no
man?
way.
Listen,
Here to
listen,
infiltrate the podcast.
listen
No
here,
fucking
Sydney.
way.
I know you're one of our only really dedicated listeners, but you're a fucking traitor.
I swear to
Okay,
God, if
so-
I find out you're a cherry pie, it's over.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, I'm down. Yeah, Sydney is a cherry, and she infiltrated our podcast to gain intelligence.
And you know what? She tried. She tried to make us intellectual, but we didn't fall for it.
yeah.
Exactly.
We're
I'm
smarter
gonna make
than
you
that.
guys.
Yeah.
I will,
you know
I'll
what?
make you guys intellectual.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Chris
you.
is
We
our
gotta
real
listen to the real
savior.
truth.
So after Vishnu, my next couple of notes get a little out of hand.
Okay.
Little, yeah. Does Gammy Num Num have female genitalia?
Yes.
Yeah, so we've talked about
Yeah.
this
Okay.
ad nauseum. In nauseum,
Now-
I would say.
She's got them flaps.
It's also
Okay.
like a tearaway, too.
Okay, that makes sense. Now here's my next question directly after that. Does Pistachio's genitalia change with the disguise? And if
Yes.
so, who has the largest dick?
Well, this is so
Now-
funny because we have talked about this.
Yeah.
And I have a list in order of all male disguises and their exact dick size. And I want to know if you guys want to hear
Okay.
those.
No,
No,
we don't
no,
need to
no.
know exacts here, but who's the biggest and who's the smallest?
Yeah.
The biggest would be Quint with 10.5 inches.
Oh, no.
Quint,
Already.
listen, Quint's got the biggest balls.
No,
Average
he's
size
got...
penis, huge testes, average size penis. Fucking
Constable Mueller
Constable
is
Mueller.
packing.
All right,
is
Let me go-
Absolutely packed.
let me go through these really, really quick
Okay,
because
fine, go.
you guys are you're gonna be surprised. So I have down Quint as 10.5,
Okay.
Terry Suave at 9.
No.
Constable Mueller at 8.25.
Kind of,
Okay.
yeah.
Cherry Pie Man at 7 3/4.
Well, that's a child, so.
Maybe. Well, then it's a big child. Mr. Peru at 7 flat. George Bush, and I think this correlates with his exact size, 5.5 erect.
We don't know George Bush. Do we know George Bush?
No, I know.
No,
and he's right.
I agree with that one. Yeah.
I'm
trust
taking
me, I know. And he's right.
That's better.
taking a
enough
shot
time
in the
to-
dark. Prince Lami Jama with 4, and the Turtle Man with 3.5.
All right, so we know Turtle Man's real small, but we decided that Terry Suave and Mr. Peru were overcompensating.
Yeah.
Ooh,
And
okay.
I think it's Constable Mueller packing fucking 12 inches. That guy
Constable
gets lightheaded.
Mueller
No,
is
yeah.
dangerous. Like,
Constable
he can hurt
Mueller
somebody.
is Constable Mueller is definitely he's packing.
For the
But I think
Constable Mueller one,
Quint has an average sized penis, but he's got some monster, humongous testes.
Like, his balls
Fucking
hang down and
hairy.
his dick isn't quite as big as his balls, so he accidentally pisses on his balls sometimes.
Yeah, like he's
Are we-
got some hairy, piss-filled balls.
Are we talking American average or Canadian average? 6 or like 4.5?
I don't even-
I'm not telling you which is which, but what are you guys thinking? Like 6 or 4.5?
I have no idea what this question is.
I make
but
it
yes.
6.2.
4.5. Dave, Michael, you said 6.2.
Yeah.
All right, I like that. All right, cool. So we can move on from genital sizes. Our favorite Master of Disguise song, He's the Master of... Yeah.
of Disguise.
Yeah.
Was written by the vocalist of the Presidents of the United States, the same ones that did Lump and Peaches. Fun
Yeah,
fact.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
You know what's interesting about that is that the presidents of the United States, that's what the disguises are.
Exactly.
Whoa.
I'm going to get into that. Trust me, I have some crazy stuff.
All right,
So then-
keep going.
After that, Jennifer didn't notice Trent. Could she be in on it as well? I want to build on that in a few minutes here. When Barney brings Pistachio the cigar, when he says, my mom was missing, I found the cigar, it's a different cigar. The first one was I don't know the exact name for it, but it was just a regular cigar. The second one was a torpedo where it was pointed at the end, so I found that interesting.
So Devlin changes it up at the Turtle
That's
Club.
what I'm thinking. And then also, I thought that this could possibly be a Spy Kids remake. I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah, I don't either. That's a rough one, Chris. That's bad.
Yeah. But this could
That's
be
a
a
bad
Spy Kids remake.
Right.
And then I'll just kind of skip through. Watch 2 was on the next day, the 12th. I watched that 2 times that day. I thought maybe the 911 operator and the cannoli or a cannoli may have a romantic past, and that's why he hung up.
He didn't want to talk to his ex.
Yeah, exactly. And then during watch 2, I'm 62% sure that Pistachio is on the autism spectrum.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Now, to kind of preface
obviously.
that, I work with children with autism, and my stepson has autism, so I kind of based it off of my knowledge on that.
Yeah,
So I'm pretty sure he could be on the spectrum.
definitely.
I
could see it.
put, and then I want to spin off of the homeless guy in the bar when they do the close up, and he goes, "What?" When there's the bar fight.
Why
Wanna
are you
spin off of
assuming
that.
he's homeless?
I mean,
He
he's
looks
pretty
homeless.
raggedy. Like,
He looks
I know the guy you're
What?
talking about
Wait,
with
yeah.
the long beard.
With
He's
the long
pretty
beard,
raggedy.
yeah.
Yeah, he's got a long
Cri-
beard and like a
Wait.
little like driver's cap thing, but that doesn't mean he's homeless.
That's is like Christian homeless, our past guest? That's what Christian looks like.
All right, so the homeless looking guy, I want to spin off of him, and I think that would be a really good movie. At least better than this movie.
I mean,
So it's just
honestly,
like him
it's a
getting
low bar.
drunk while all of this happens in the background of his life.
That's a better movie.
Yeah,
That's a better
exactly. Agreed.
Like any character in this movie could get their own thing, and it would be better than this movie.
Yep.
It's just like watching these people try to main character their way through life.
And then all this stuff is happening around them. Yeah.
They're just like,
That's
the
what I was
fuck are
kind of
these
going
people
for.
Well, yeah,
Like,
go
he
for like a Clerks thing where it's just
Yeah.
like the bartender's
I'm not even supposed
day.
to be here.
Yeah,
All
like,
right,
oh,
that's
this is
enough.
the
That's
beer today.
enough
Now there's a
Kevin
slap
Smith
fight
references. That's enough Kevin Smith. Okay.
You might want to
Kevin
have to
Smith.
rag on him too.
Yeah.
Let's move on from hackbag Kevin Smith. Okay.
So the second watch of that day, the first note was, where did Bowman get Michael Johnson's shoes to trade for the Constitution? Or maybe they could be fakes. And then the second one, this is another note that showed up in the last podcast. Devlin Bowman is Barney Baker's dad. That was the second note of watch number 3.
Yeah,
Now,
that was my theory.
Yeah, now I'm gonna build on that. There's something that you missed, Eli, and I'm really excited to talk about that. So I'll move on. We'll get through it.
Shit.
And then I also thought that this podcast could have possibly prevented some Mandela effects that happened during the collision of the you guys know the particle collider that they're doing.
Did you just say? Wait, hold on. Did you just say you guys know? No, I don't fucking know.
You know,
What
how
are you
CERN is
talking
doing.
about?
You don't know about the Mandela effects in CERN? It's a huge internet thing. So CERN is doing this particle colliders, and it's creating Mandela effects, and I think that you guys prevented Mandela effects with this movie.
I don't
Okay,
think...
okay.
All right.
Other than the fact that is utter nonsense,
I'm a little lost now,
what Mandela effects have we prevented but with our dumb bullshit?
I have no idea. We'll never know. You guys
If
prevented
anything
them.
we've
we
created...
won't
We're
know
basing
because-
this on nothing?
No,
Yeah,
but like
exactly.
that's just the thing. We won't know because we stopped them.
But why would
Exactly.
you ever even? Why did you even write that down? That doesn't even make sense.
Look, just
I'm
just,
going to be honest,
was-
I'm very angry right now.
I'm
very-
excited. Like I'm taking.
I was very under the influence. I was very under the influence of cannabis.
Well, yeah, no, I believe that. I believe that.
Clearly.
But like, what is that? Like, what does that even mean? Like, how do you?
I don't
Which
know.
ones would we have prevented?
I'm still
Maybe
backing him
Prince-
up here.
Maybe Prince Lami Jama wasn't from Bombay Heights of Calcutta, India. Maybe he was from somewhere else. You know?
Yeah,
Who knows?
maybe it was originally supposed to be blackface, and then they're like,
Maybe.
it's a little too much.
And
Okay.
we
Or-
fixed it. We
We
changed
did.
that.
We fixed it.
Or maybe we got into a dimension where Gammy Num Nums was Gammy Nam Nams. You don't know. It could be something like that.
Before I get angry, can we move
Unleash
on to
the
another
Yeah.
show?
You guys are gonna like this next watch. The next watch was the next day, the 13th. I watched it 3 days in a row. It was synced to Kendrick Lamar's "Mr. Morale" and the Big Steppers, his latest
Yeah.
album.
It's a good album.
Amazing. This was a religious experience. The credits matched up perfectly.
Yeah.
The music transitions to
Where
more.
was We Cry Together?
I'll get into it. So
I
music
gotta do that
transitions switched to like a more melodic at the same time the credits transitioned to like the Master of Disguise logo, so that was really cool. It was like right at the exact same time Master of Disguise logo showed up and it got really melodic. When they transitioned to Little Italy, the music transitioned perfectly. When Baby Pistachio slaps the doctor, Kendrick says "shoo, shoo, shoo," and it's on every single slap, like on perfect beat, which was crazy.
Wow.
The music during Pistachio's flashback makes me feel like I'm watching his villain arc. So I forgot what song it was, but it really felt like a villain arc. Let me skip
dark
through.
side slide moment.
Yeah. Pistachio skips away from the Meatball Man perfectly on beat during Die Hard, which was kind of funny. When Rex pushes Pistachio in the face, Kendrick says, "I got some regrets, but my past won't keep me from my best," which was kind of funny.
Oh wow!
And then when Pistachio's talking to the grandpa for the first time about saving his parents, Kendrick is repeating, "I got daddy issues," which was kind of
Whoa.
weird. So yeah, this really made me think that Kendrick just wrote this album while watching Master of Disguise because
There's
it's
no other
literally
explanation.
almost the same. I think it's like a minute and 30 seconds off from each other.
But where was We Cry Together?
I'm right here. We Cry Together. 6 minutes of domestic violence plays during the brown face scene, and it makes the
Yeah.
scene more depressing.
Oh my god!
Yep.
Yeah, that's
crap.
fair.
What
I
the
mean, the
hell?
only explanation is that Kendrick decided to make his album and sync it up to Master of Disguise, just like Pink Floyd.
Oh, I'll get to Pink Floyd. I did that twice. I have another album I synced it up to, too. I can't wait to talk about.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it to me.
Yeah, I did. So that made me feel really depressed watching that scene while listening to just 6 minutes of domestic violence. And it was the entire scene. The entire scene was We Cry Together. I also thought that Pistachio's mom may know that she's being held captive the entire time, because the first time that they show her and the hands come out of the flower, you can see this like look on her face like she's disgusted or something, and then she turns around real slow as soon as the hands drop down. So I'm thinking she could be like a trained assassin.
Yeah, so I have a different thought on that.
Okay.
I think it was the actress realizing how bad this movie was.
Hey,
Yeah.
Hey, Amy Clark is a fucking treasure, dude. She would
she's
not
better in
show
this
that
movie.
disdain on her face while acting, okay? She's a pro.
She doesn't
That's
act
so
when the scene cuts.
That's so funny because the next note that I have in here is I think Jennifer Esposito thinks this movie is a big stinker while she's filming it.
Well,
No!
okay.
No!
Did she say she loved it?
She loved this movie.
I don't
I
know.
get the opposite impression.
No, in the behind the scenes, she's the only one who seems to fucking adore this movie. Even
Yeah.
Dana Carvey seems like he doesn't like it.
In all
I
fairness,
think-
I haven't seen the behind the scenes.
Okay, can I say something a little mean about Jennifer Esposito?
Sure.
I guess so.
She's never coming on, so it doesn't matter. She's clearly not the brightest person in the world since she's a big crypto head. So, I think she's just really dumb. And
Okay.
she liked this movie and was really dumb for it, and I don't like her.
I guess we don't have next month's guest then, huh?
Yeah.
Michael, we were gonna surprise you for your birthday.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
God.
Guess who we got here right now, sitting next to me?
Oh, God.
This is awkward.
Oh.
She's right behind me, isn't she?
Yeah. All right, Chris, go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah,
no
please.
worries. So then after that, when the grandpa says talking baby, Kendrick repeats, yeah, baby, yeah, baby, yeah, baby, which is kind of funny. And then I put, I'm pretty stoned, maybe this movie isn't syncing as well as I thought. And then
Yeah,
right
yeah.
after that, I put, this album is way better than this movie.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
And then Turtle Guy walks in. Kendrick says, "Let me tell you when I was at my lowest," which I thought was kind of funny. The music during the it has an inspirational build when Pistachio walks out of the bar with Jennifer, like after the fight. And then I'll skip ahead because these are dumb. I wish the Heat Part 5 started earlier because it was just a perfect credit song. And then 3:30 of the Heat Part 5 syncs up with the Fembops perfectly. Best sync of the entire movie. I don't know what sunk up there, but I put that there. And then that's about it for that watch. The next watch, this one I kind of really want to touch on because I watched this with my girlfriend and our child. And I mentioned my child has autism, which made this a lot more interesting because he looks at things differently.
Yeah.
So he's 7, to give you guys a little bit of a background. So Beckett lost interest 3 minutes and 46 seconds into the movie.
I don't blame him at all.
That's
He's
like
right.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, you're not
Exactly.
even like hardly out of the credits at that point.
He was super excited about the credits, loved them, thought it was so cool how like everything was changing, and then when the movie started, he was out. And then I put, is Dana Carvey cosplaying as Rivers Cuomo, which I'm kind of convinced he is.
Who's Rivers Cuomo?
The vocalist of Weezer.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Michael,
convinced he's doing.
you're a huge Wheeze head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we love Weezer.
No,
We're all
Um,
Wheeze heads up in
none
here.
of us like Weezer, I
Wheeze
hope.
heads.
I like some early Weezer.
Yeah, Weezer's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beckett gained interest again during the training montage, and he laughed uncontrollably at Pistachio in the inflated suit.
Yeah.
He also, the next time he laughed was at the first fart with Devlin Bowman.
Yeah.
The
Worth it.
second fart, he laughed even harder and then blamed it on my girlfriend, which was hilarious. He was like, "Mama farted."
Yeah.
And then the ice cream scene when they're eating the ice cream and the guy turns around when they like have the ice cream cones in their mouth stuck or whatever. Beckett laughed hysterically. And then the next note I put, Barney is 7 and rips Ollie's. He's fucking sick. So I thought
he's
that was
not a
kind of,
sports kid. Did
Yeah,
you
but he's
listen to
not
him?
a-
No, he doesn't rip Ollie's.
well, his mom said go practice, or Jennifer said go practice your Ollies. So if he's like ripping
but
Ollies
he
at
doesn't
7,
know
he's
because
sick.
yeah, but he can't because the dog is riding the skateboard.
Oh,
He's like,
yeah.
why can you do it and I can't? He fucking sucks at skateboarding. He's a fucking
Yeah,
idiot.
he even admits I'm not a sports kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he keeps
point.
getting up. He keeps getting up and he keeps trying.
Yeah, he's trying. So he is a sports kid.
You're like a poster in a teacher's classroom.
This is an underdog movie. You guys are
Honestly.
forgetting.
Yeah, the side plot that we don't get to see is Barney wins a skate competition at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes up against Tony Hawk.
It's like that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Or Skateboard Kid.
That would be incredible.
Or Airborne.
Airborne.
We don't need
Airborne.
any more skateboard movies.
So then after that, Beckett got secondhand embarrassment from the Turtle Club scene. He like hid and would not watch the scene.
Oh.
And then he got terrified when Pistachio got mad that the cigar roller wouldn't give him information, and Pistachio started making those noises. He got terrified from that. And then as soon as the turtle was gone, he said he became the master of disguise, which was kind of funny. Then he anticipated the third fart and laughed even harder. And then he laughed when Pistachio got pantsed by the slapping dummy. And then I got hung on Operation Minty Hippo because I had a feeling that had a meaning somewhere. So I looked it up, and on Urban Dictionary, it's a code word that was used in the late 90s for gay rights.
I knew it. I knew Terry Suave was part of the LGBTQ community.
Yep. Yeah,
This
so
is
I think that, and I'm gonna kind of get into the homosexuality in this movie because there's more than we actually believe.
Yeah, good for you, Dave.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Representation, finally.
Absolutely, we want some representation in movies. So just to move on because I have a lot to go through. I wonder how bricked Pistachio was after he kissed Jennifer for the first time because it was his first kiss. So I imagine he was pretty bricked up.
Knocked over a whole ass tree.
Yeah. And then Beckett laughed hysterically at the scene where Bowman farted in the pool. Then my
ending?
next... Yeah, the very
he
ending.
just straight up dies in the pool, yeah.
My next couple of watches don't have a whole lot of notes. My next watch after that was a couple days later, and I put Jennifer's a bad mother. Where's Barney all of the time? Because he's only 7. So
You tried to
And then
answer Mom.
yeah, then I put
Yeah,
this
I mean-
watch was tough.
She
Oh, go
just
ahead.
got back from yoga, so...
Yeah, so
Right, but
she's
who's-
sorry. Hope that's okay.
Who's watching him though? Because he's just hanging out in Little Italy all by,
streets
himself.
are
Oh,
Well
the
done,
neighborhood
man.
is watching him. You millennials.
The
You millennials.
neighborhood.
Back in my
You-
day, the whole neighborhood would raise a kid.
Listen, you non-Italians don't get what it's like in Little Italy, okay?
Yeah.
Hey, wait, I'm
yeah,
Italian.
Spaghetti.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
Italian.
You're Italian looking, idiot. Go to hell.
Got
So-
him.
Demolished.
Demolished. So then my next couple of watches, were drunk, very drunk
Okay,
while I
great
watched
start.
those. No notes, 0 notes.
No,
Yeah,
respect.
Yeah, respect, honestly.
Watch 9, I put the intro sucks. This movie fucking sucks, and those were my only notes. Watch 10, when I put the movie on, Beckett said, "No, not Master of Disguise, please, please."
That's a man of culture right there. He's right.
I'm on Beckett's
Yeah.
side.
I kind of appreciate like his input here because it's like we're really getting like the raw reactions here. Like people
Yeah.
will kind of have like their own little like reservations going like, yeah, I guess I'll watch it. No, this is just flat out honesty.
Yeah,
for the target audience, an autistic 7-year-old.
Yes, he hated it. But then once it starts and the first fart happens, he's totally fine.
Yeah.
I also thought Mr. Peru looks like my Uncle Mark. And why wouldn't Devlin think to hide the Constitution from the president? That was dumb. And then I'll skip a couple of watches. Watch 12 was on the 20th anniversary. I couldn't stop quoting the movie. I said it's like a tick. I don't realize I'm even doing it. I just speak out.
My wife hates it.
Kind of too wrapped up in the movie, and you're just like, okay, yeah, I'm having kind of a fun time with it, and you're just stuck with it.
Yeah, exactly. And then they never show Pistachio putting Trent's credit cards back. So they just kind of like cut the camera and they imply that he puts the credit cards back, but I'm pretty sure Pistachio straight up stole that man's credit cards.
I don't think he does.
No,
I don't think he does.
You don't think so?
Back pocket, yeah.
I think he stole the credit cards.
I
don't think he
would
steals
like
them.
to think that Pistachio has more honor than that.
I don't know. I got more I want to get into about that. Don't
No,
worry.
you're right.
I have.
He is a sneaky Italian.
He is.
Hey.
Hey. But he is. He's our stereotypical sneaky Italian.
That's not a
You have to admit.
stereotype. No, there's no such thing as a sneaky Italian.
This movie is filled with stereotypes. It is.
I've known you for a while.
That's not a real stereotype.
Ooh.
This movie invented
You never
one.
know.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and then when after the first kiss, when Pistachio and Jennifer are talking and she goes, "You know what time it is?" Pistachio says the planning time she comes, but he had a weird emphasis on she, implying that the planning time comes and not Jennifer, and that made me really uncomfortable.
Oh.
Wow. So you're telling me that Pistachio isn't a generous lover?
Well, no, I mean, what I'm saying is he fully intended on making Jennifer come.
That's an interesting
then-
question. Do you guys think Pistachio makes Jennifer come first?
Ooh.
No.
I don't
Yes,
know.
I do.
He's too fast.
I don't think he does.
I don't
think
think
he-
he knows about it.
I don't think he knows women can orgasm.
I don't think he knows that he can orgasm.
I
That's a
I'm
good
with
point.
Eli. I think
More
that
like
he.
a 6-pump Pistachio, because he's looking
Yeah.
at like the 45-second window, and then he goes.
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't think Pistachio even knows what that is.
I think that he makes her come and then denies sex because he's too much of a gentleman.
Yeah, he's one of those guys on Reddit who won't let themselves come.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
He's-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Retention,
Yeah, Pistachio
So, like-
started it.
So wait, will guys just like edge themselves super hard and then not come?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty regularly. Wait, do you not?
Yeah, wait, Michael, you don't do that?
That makes me uncomfortable. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think,
Pistachio started a movement. Get with it.
I don't think you're really.
Can we
fit for
move,
this
Chris?
podcast
Please keep
anymore,
going
bud.
because I don't want to think about guys blue balling themselves.
Yeah, you got it. I also forgot to mention that on Watch 11, I started streaming it on my Discord server every single day, tried to for the month of August. So nobody showed up Watch 11. Nobody showed up Watch 12 for the 20th anniversary.
They're lost.
Nobody showed up for Watch
Oh,
13, which is what I'm on now. That was the third. Just to kind of touch on a couple of things, what if Bernardo is just a figment of Pistachio's imagination and Barney is looking at him crazy because Pistachio is talking to literally thin air?
So Bernardo is like his imaginary friend.
Yeah.
What if Bernardo did work at Fabrizio's at one point, and then for whatever reason he died, and now like Pistachio couldn't deal with it, so he imagines Bernardo.
No. Hold on. I'm going to add to that because I like that thought. But instead of Pistachio imagining it, what if Bernardo's a ghost?
Ooh.
Bernardo,
Barney Baker
the
can't see
friendly
him.
ghost.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't laugh at the Shrek jokes, because he was like too dumbfounded that Pistachio was just literally talking to himself.
Yeah, because there's no other explanation as to why you wouldn't laugh at that.
Yeah, it was comical gold.
It's hilarious.
Super funny. So then
So hard to pretend.
After that, I wish they ended the movie with a cut to a mental hospital and Dana Carvey is in a padded cell talking to himself, and then the nurse walks in and says, "Time for your medicine, Mr. Carvey," and then it just rolls to a black screen.
That would be good.
That would be good. Every time I watch this, I get more and more concerned that Jennifer never got the answer as to what her job entailed.
Yeah.
Let's see. People at the Turtle Club were way too calm when he bit that dude's nose off.
Yeah.
That was straight up cannibalism, by the way.
It's cannibalism. And I'm 100% sure that Bowman fucked Fabrizio disguised as Jessica Simpson.
Well, we know that Bowman fucked Fabrizio in a many disguises. We know that for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I kind of want to get into that now. Just kind of get into that theory because I think this is the watch where I kind of thought of it. So I'm going to bring up my thesis really quick and talk on that.
Yeah.
And then we'll go from there. I'm going to read this for you guys. It's not that long. I kind of talked it up. But this is all about Devlin Bowman. Now, you guys were kind of talking about how he could potentially be Barney Baker's father. I think you're on the right track, but you're on the wrong person. So with Bowman being thousands of years old, he could have fathered many children.
Right. 2
of these children that he has fathered are displayed in this movie. Now, this is my theory. Devlin Bowman was once known as Diavolin Pistachio. Devlin has the word devil in it, and in Italian, devil is Diavolo. Now, for Bowman, he needed to think of an Americanized name, so he thought back to the Native Americans who used bow and arrows, and he went with Bowman.
What?
Okay?
No.
Just listen.
Let him talk. Let him speak.
Let him finish.
Hold on. Just stay with me, Michael, because you're going to get real pissed off at this. So, Diavolin and his assistant had a baby. That baby is known as the grandfather. Okay?
Yeah. I'm not mad. I'm on board.
Okay. Devlin is Pistachio's great-grandfather. Now, after he had the grandfather, he realized that he was actually a homosexual. And back then, being gay was extremely frowned upon, especially in the Disguisey family. I believe that they were extremely against homosexuality. So at that time, they were living in Tuscany. He fled from Tuscany, moved to America, and hate built up inside him. And he really wanted to bring his home country to him, but he knew he couldn't go back. So he resorted to stealing Italian art, and he grew this addiction to stealing art. So he moved from Italian to rare artifacts. Now, because of this evil act he was doing, it moved him so far away from the light side of Energico that he lost his quote-unquote disguise powers, and he became the only thing somebody on the dark side of Energico can become, a cherry pie man. Now, stay with me, guys. Okay. This leads us to Palermo. Okay, this takes us right to Palermo. He knew the entire time Fabrizio was a master of disguise, but he didn't know that Fabrizio was his grandson, okay? He was luring him in to gain intelligence and to get his powers back so he can steal more art and possibly even go back to his home country. Now, on the other hand, Fabrizio knew Bowman was an art thief, so that's why he was there. He was there to bust him. Now, Fabrizio showed up at Bowman's as Bo Derek just to honeypot him because he thought Bo Derek was real popular at that time. A lot of guys like her, so he showed up as Bo Derek. And with the high amount of light Energico and the high amount of dark Energico in the same area, it really just kind of messed everything up. And Fabrizio got lost in the disguise. Now, Bowman knew this was going to happen because he's been with Energico for so long. So he thought while Fabrizio was in disguise, he could fuck Fabrizio and then harness his powers. But that's not what happened. Bowman then contracted the Energico STD and he went to jail. Okay? Now, Fabrizio did not walk away from this exchange empty-handed. Because Fabrizio was lost in the disguise, he actually became Bo Derek in that moment, and he got pregnant from Bowman, And then he went back to America and was so ashamed of the baby that he took it to a fire department, and the fire department then gave it to a local family who couldn't have kids. Listen, they couldn't have kids, okay? And then they named this young girl baby after their grandmother that passed away, Jennifer, and Keith and Mary Baker raised Jennifer but never told her where she was actually from. So, not only is Devlin Bowman Pistachio's great-grandfather, but he's the father to Jennifer Baker, thus creating some form of incest.
You know
So
what?
then when...
You know what?
Hold on, I got more.
Okay.
When Bowman was then released from jail, he searched out for not only the one who gave him his death sentence, the STD, not only to get his revenge, but to scratch that itch he's had for the last 20 years. Steal more art.
Okay, hey, I just need to say something real quick.
Like, a quick round of applause.
Yeah. No,
Yes, let's go.
Thank you.
Go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's fucking go.
After last podcast, Chris messaged me kind of offended and said, I'm not going to be that dumb. Like, I'm going to bring some intelligence.
Oh,
And he
yeah,
did.
like you're one to talk, Michael.
Okay.
Chris
you know what?
brought. This is a gift.
I'm telling you, I have more. That's
That has been dropped
that's
on
the
our
tip of
face.
the iceberg. That's the tip of the iceberg.
That's the
You know
Not
what?
every time I-
Skyceberg.
I'm
Yes.
going to save myself the mental anguish and just accept it. Sure. Whatever you
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Good.
Perfect. So
This is good.
that's lore. And I kind of figured that out in Watch 14. I was still streaming Master of Disguise on Discord, and that's the watch that Eli popped in for, like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It was before he had to pick up his wife, and he's like, I'm going to pop in, hang out. So we hung out, and after that, I kind of made the realization that all of this was going on, but I couldn't piece it together. I only pieced it together last night while watching my 34th time. I watched it the 35th time today on my break, and then finished it when I got home. But yeah, it was intense. So then, after that watch, I did the Dark Side of Disguise.
Yeah.
Extremely intoxicated, under the influence of marijuana. And I'm not going to
syncs
go...
up, right?
Oh
it
my
syncs
God.
up Great.
This was the greatest thing I've ever done in my entire life. I'm not going to go into all of the notes because I have a lot of them on there and like timestamps and stuff, but it was phenomenal. The footsteps on the song Run on the Run
Yeah.
matched up perfectly with Pistachio running down the steps. The saxophone solo and Us and Them makes the Jennifer interview feel super sexual. And then I put, dude, the fucking ninja scene with a million question marks. So I'm thinking that synced up pretty good.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Michael's
and
a
then-
hater.
Yeah, no, it was
Honestly.
phenomenal. I
Yeah,
did
what
it
the
twice.
fuck?
I did it on Watch 16, and I also did it on Watch 19. And then... Or, I'm sorry, Watch 15 and 19. 16, not many notes, just what did Devlin Bowman go to prison for? That's before I figured out my big theory. So what answered that. And then I also realized that the cuteness eats sausages faster than Joey Chestnut.
He absolutely
Yeah.
wolfs those things down.
And that, yeah, wolfs him down. Watch 20 was an interesting one. That was watching on Discord with some coworkers. Just two of them. And then for that, during the Ness reveal, this was what really interested me. My coworker said, "Can you imagine setting this up every time?"
Dude,
Which-
I've said that a million fucking times.
yeah, that was a little interesting. I never thought about that.
During the what review?
And then,
The Nest reveal with the
dur-
Rube Goldberg thing,
the Nest.
with
Oh,
the
yeah,
candle
yeah.
and all that.
yeah. And then also, where did Pistachio get the bloody nose from when he was tussling with Trent? Because Trent didn't go anywhere near his face.
Obviously,
he had too much energy
his,
still going through him, and it made him
he
bloody.
got all hot and bothered from Trent touching him like that,
I guess
and he got
so.
a bloody nose out of it, like an
I
anime
guess so.
guy.
An anime guy.
Apparently. And then 21-22, not much. Watch 23, I synced it up with Metallica's Load. The worst viewing I had. The absolute worst viewing. And this is what kind of gave me that mental health block. I hated this terribly, absolutely terribly, and I had like a lot going on at work and like at home and stuff too, which wasn't helping. And this just gave me a block where I didn't even want to look at the movie at all, but I did. I will say the album does not sync whatsoever. It's terrible.
No,
and
it's not
as
a very
an
good
Italian,
album
the
at
various
all.
yeah, no, it's bad. It's a bad album. The album sucks.
I mean, it's far
as an
from their
Italian, the
worst.
various
Alright, we're not talking about
yeah,
Metallica.
I would say far from their worst.
What, Michael? You
fine,
don't like
it's fine.
Ain't My Bitch? You don't like 2x4? King
Listen,
Nothing?
the only good Metallica
Yeah.
song is My
King Nothing?
Lifestyle Determines My Dead Style. That's the best Metallica song.
That's a good one.
No, it's
I
not.
think they
It's
stole those
terrible.
lyrics from. I think they stole those lyrics from Megadeth.
Saint
That could be a
Anger was
Megadeth
awful.
lyric. It's
All right, whatever.
best
Continue.
album.
That-
No,
please.
as an Italian, the various vegetables and bottles of oil felt racist to me.
Very racist,
I was
right?
uncomfortable
Thank
about
you.
that. Yeah. That just felt super racist because every Italian aunt or grandma has those in their kitchen, and it just
Yeah.
felt too much for me.
It's-
That's not you.
Um,
It's representative. What do you mean racist?
I don't know.
I
it
mean,
just
yeah,
felt
like,
uncomfortable.
Dana Carvey isn't Italian.
Look, as a Frenchman, clearly
No.
I know about representation here.
Huh.
Mhm. And then
Sort of-
Pistachio is an Italian version of George Bush.
Fair.
Then
Yeah.
my next bunch of views are just like me blankly staring at the screen. No
Hey, been
notes,
there.
0 notes.
Yeah.
But I did track all of my views. Now I do have another theory. I'll talk about my last note I have here. Could Bo Derek possibly be a nod to Chris Farley? Because Bo Derek played the stepmother in Tommy Boy, and she started off as a nice lady, but was disguised, and she ended up being a total bitch. So I thought that could have been a nod. But then here's my theory as to we're gonna get intelligent here, as to the actual meaning of the movie. I believe this movie is one giant metaphor for the conflict between the two parties of the government. And I'm
Okay.
gonna give you proof.
Okay.
Let's think back to 2002. Let's talk about politics for a second. In 2002, our president was George W. Bush, who was a Republican. The House was controlled by the Republicans as well as the Senate, and they had been held by the Republicans for 6 consecutive years. So the Republicans were kind of viewed as like the good guys in that time. Now let's talk a little bit about color. The disguises and everybody working for them are usually seen with red, being the good guys. Bowman and all of his people are all seen in blue, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Now, Bowman trying to steal rare artifacts, this is symbolizing the Republicans believing the Democrats are trying to get rid of American traditions, or stealing their traditions.
He does steal
And
the
then
Constitution.
I believe
And Liberty Bell.
he steals the Constitution. Exactly. That's where I'm going. So then
And a
I also
Betsy Ross
think
original.
and a Betsy Ross original. I think Jennifer is the general population because she's always seen in purple with a mixture of other colors, indicating the different sociological labels. Barney wears red because he symbolizes the young Republicans stumbling through life, and Pistachio is the current gen Republicans that are trying to
So
guide
do you think
them.
this movie is? Do you think this movie is a Republican like
It's pro-Republican,
pro?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. The grandpa wears green and purple, symbolizing money and loyalty. He represents a 1%, or like the Rothschilds and the Illuminati, if you will. That's why he has all of the Illuminati symbols all over the place. And then Trent's a dick, and he's always in a tight blue sweater, so he's viewed as a bad guy.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
during the bar fight scene, that's symbolization of the two parties fighting, because Pistachio's wearing a red jacket and Trent's wearing that blue sweater.
Tight blue sweater.
And then tight blue sweater. In the same scene, the Tush Queen is wearing both red and blue, symbolizing that she is somebody who switches to whoever's more popular. In the very end, Bowman is wearing a shirt with green leaves, symbolizing money and that he made it, but he actually didn't. And then just to kind of recap, The grandpa, who is the Illuminati, is helping Pistachio, the Republicans, to get his mama and papa, the morals and values, back from Devlin Bowman, the Democrats.
Wow.
Jesus
This
fucking Christ,
this
it all
makes
just
too much
syncs up.
sense.
Honestly, that actually
It makes
does
so much sense
seem
that
like
it's
a
wrong.
weird-
It's not
No.
wrong. I'm telling you.
I mean, that actually kind of can work.
I'm telling you. I've thought a lot about this.
Huh.
Well, the problem is you thought a lot about it, but did the filmmakers?
That's
Does
what
it
I'm
matter?
saying. I think this movie is actually
artist
more.
intent.
Yeah, artist intent is extremely overrated. We have
Yeah.
established that.
Yeah.
I think it's more intellectual than we're actually giving it credit for.
This movie is disguising itself as a dumb comedy
Oh, right.
to be right-wing propaganda.
Don't
Yep.
use
That's why-
disguising itself. Don't make dumb, like, master of disguise puns. Chris, do you have anything else that you would like to go over?
The last thing I have is I created a plot for a Master of Disguise sequel, and if you guys would like
yes,
to hear
give it to
that,
us.
Quickly, yeah.
Quick.
okay, quickly I'll give you that. It's called Master of Disguise: Disguise Another Day.
Sounds like a James Bond movie.
I like
It
it.
is because it's a ripoff of all the Austin
Die Another
Powers
Day?
movies, who are ripoffs of James Bond movies. So
Yeah.
that's where I was going with that.
Fair.
So
Okay,
real
yeah.
quick, just to go through it, we open the movie fading into a far shot of a cemetery. A small group of 15 to 20 people surrounded a grave while a priest throws dirt onto a casket. The lighting of the entire movie is very dim, and the mood is very somber. So it's a drama. It's not a comedy. We show Pistachio, his mother, Jennifer, and Barney Baker, who is now in his early 20s, standing in the front row. Everybody starts to leave, and Pistachio's mother wraps her arm around Pistachio and says, "It's been so hard since your father disappeared, and now that your grandfather is gone, I don't know what to do. I'm going to lose the
I don't know
restaurant."
what to do.
Yeah. So Pistachio reassures his mother, helps her into the car. He closes the door and walks away, and he immediately makes a call. He then whispers into the phone, "Do it now," hangs up, and gets in the car. Jennifer asks who that was, and he says nothing and proceeds to drive off. So they have a long drive home, and Jennifer notices that a black SUV is following behind them. So Pistachio gets frantic, tries to lose them, but they get around, create a roadblock, and 4 men get out in cherry pie man masks
Ooh.
and rip Pistachio from the car. They then throw him in the SUV and drive off. So
Huh.
then when they get home, police are there, but they're not helping. Then while an officer was questioning the mid-20s Barney Baker, he rips his mask off and reveals that he's Fabrizio Disguisi coming out of hiding.
Wait.
They find out-
Barney Baker is Fabrizio or the cop? Is?
No, the cop is Fabrizio.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So then they find out that Pistachio pulled off an elaborate heist on a distant relative who went to the dark side of Energico, and they kidnapped Pistachio, and they were torturing him to get information on how to find the Disguisi treasure. So Fabrizio then helps Barney become a master of disguise and find Pistachio. Barney and his new assistant find the evil lair with no help from Fabrizio, and Pistachio is under a spell to make him believe that he is actually the evil relative, and he's going to kill Barney Baker and Fabrizio.
So this is like a soft reboot. This is like
It's
the
a
Force Awakens.
soft reboot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Like okay,
Yep.
I'm digging this. It's pretty good.
I'm down.
Yep. So then Barney uses his Energico power to snap Pistachio out of it by falling on a skateboard like when he was a kid. Pistachio
Whoa.
remembers brave Barney Baker, and him, Barney, and Fabrizio kill the evil relative by throwing him in a vat of acid while Barney is dressed as Joe Biden. Roll credits.
Holy
I like
shit.
how it got political at the end there. That was good.
Well, I figured
I'm
because
in.
he was dressed as George Bush, he might as well dress as the current
No,
president.
I like it, but so this isn't even really a statement about your wonderful pitch because I do love it. I just realized that this movie never did the double mask thing. That could have been an easy gag where someone pulls
Yeah,
off
that
a mask
could've
and it's like, it's you, and then they pull off another mask.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
never
what is
thought
an
about
easy
that.
gag that
Doesn't
this could have pulled off?
Scooby-Doo do
But
that?
no.
Doesn't
Yeah, they
Scooby-Doo the
do.
movie do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
Huh.
would have been better.
Huh.
That'd be a funny gag.
Chris,
So
thank
that's all I
you.
have.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. That was awful. That was awesome, not awful.
Michael had a Freudian slip.
Yeah, so I'm sending you guys a picture right now. I'm texting it to you all. My only real note is over the last weekend maybe. I went to a novelty candy shop.
Yeah.
And I saw a box of mints on it that said Quince Orca Mints Shark Charter. And I went, oh, that's cool. They have a reference to the Master of Disguise here. Not realizing that it was obviously a reference to Jaws. And
wait, he's in.
I just want to say that that's about where my mental health is with this movie. So
that is that's really bad.
I bought it and it was $7.50. Just so you guys know.
That's good. I'm glad that you've invested into this podcast.
That is really bad.
It's
though.
and also this movie is like a memory to me now. It's not every time I watch it. It's like I'm looking through an old photo album. That's what it feels like.
That makes sense.
But yeah, that's all you have?
Yeah. I've reached a peak with this movie. There's nothing else for me to say. Like, I'm not going to reach any more revelations. Like, maybe I'll come up with new theories, but it's just going to be because I'm trying to come up with new theories. It's not going to be organic. It's going to be like, I need to come up with a new theory. Let me think of one. It's not. This movie's done for me. I've tapped it. The keg's done.
I think that there's more bottoms of the barrels for you to scrape.
I've been scraping for a while.
I think there's a whole other barrel, buddy.
We'll see. Maybe next month.
I think you got this. Whatever. So I'll finish us out then. Like I said, I didn't prepare much for this. I took my notes throughout the month, obviously, but I watched it 7 times, which is 6 or 7 has been about my average the last couple months. And like I said, I'm not upset with the movie. I'm not liking the movie. It is just part of me now. And that's just what it is. So in order to feel something, I tried something out. On my 3rd viewing of the month, so I think I mentioned during like the Allen podcast or something that I got an exercise bike.
Yeah.
I decided that I was going to watch the entirety of The Master of Disguise while biking.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It sucked. It was awful. I was going ham on it too. I was sweating up a fucking storm. In the entirety of the movie, I ended up doing a little bit over 12 miles.
Damn.
On the exercise bike,
Wow,
which I do not know if that is good or bad for the time.
No idea.
But I took no breaks. I slowed down a couple times throughout the movie, but I took no breaks, and it sucked. It was an endurance match. It sucked ass. I hated it. Literally for like 2 days after that, I was sore as fuck. Like my legs were like hard to use. They were wobbly. It wasn't a good time. So I want to put that up there as I'd say this was my worst watch.
That's fair.
This year. I don't know. The Standing on One Foot one was really bad, but this is probably worse. I don't know if any of you guys saw, but Jimmy Kimmel had a whole week of guest hosts this last month, and one of them was Dana Carvey.
Yeah.
Oh.
How was he?
Dana Carvey goes a guest host for Jimmy Kimmel, and he was okay. He was fine, I guess. He was better than he was back 20 years ago. But it was a very bizarre guest that he had to interview. It was Dana Carvey interviewing Quentin Tarantino for a 15-minute interview.
That's awesome.
It was bizarre, weird, combination of people.
Yeah, that doesn't really sound like it would sync up at all.
It's on YouTube. I'd suggest you watch it. I honestly was into it. Quentin Tarantino is a crazy weirdo, and so is Dana Carvey, and they're talking about how Quentin is directing his son on how zombies are supposed to act. It just sounds like a wonderful good time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I realized, obviously we could have done this a very, very long time ago, but do you guys think that if you had to, gun pointed at your head, if you could recap this movie scene by scene in order?
Would I have to...
You don't have to do dialogue by dialogue, you just have to do scene by scene.
So the only thing I might mess up is where exact moments it cuts to the like stealing of the certain pieces. That's the only thing I might mess up.
Because, like, I don't think I can do it.
I think I might be able to. Because, like, as I'm watching the movie, I'm kind of, like, mouthing all the dialogue and everything as I'm going along. Also because it's
Do you think we could collectively do it?
I think as a
Yes.
group we could, and maybe that's something to try out next episode or something if like when we have more time. But like I think as a group we could do it. But you're right, Michael. Those parts where it cuts to Bowman, those cut in
That'd be
very
tough.
randomly and without any
Yeah.
sort of sense. So I still get surprised by it sometimes.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we could. I
as
think
a
we
group,
would fail.
could do it. Yeah. I think as a
Um,
group we could definitely pull it off easily.
I think Pistachio is shortchanging himself when he says he can't build a spaceship to fly to Pluto. I think he could.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, yeah, I think he could. I genuinely
Sure.
think he could. I think
He could
I
disguise
think
himself as a
Pistachio is just being a little bit of a little stinky hater on himself, and
stinky
I
hater.
think you should aim for the moon because if you miss, you'll end up in the stars.
I mean, okay, no, but
But no, that's a great quote. You can quote that.
yeah, I bet you could.
You
pal.
have my permission to quote that.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do it.
No,
I mean-
it's okay. Like I won't be upset if you quote it. And all you have to do is just like make sure you credit me.
I mean, who
Yeah,
are
no,
you?
we're not gonna do that though.
No, Mike, it's okay. I'm telling you, you're allowed.
Yeah, but what if like
I'm
I
over
didn't want
this.
to though?
This is the first podcast that talking about this movie just put me in a bad mood.
We did it! We did it! We hit it!
It's been
That's
a
it,
while.
We finally got him there.
Like, usually I feel like some sorts of like, alright, that was fun. This has not been a fun time for me. I'm gonna be completely honest.
I had a blast, dude.
I have
Chris,
not
I am
enjoyed
loving
myself.
these extended theories. Like the whole
Thank you.
the whole politics one. Actually,
Chris,
is
I
something
don't
wanna
want you
explore.
to think. Chris, listen, I don't want you to think it's you because it's not you.
No, I get
it.
I'm done with this movie. It's tapped. It's tapped.
No, Michael. Again, back to episode 2. I think you're just being a hater.
Honestly,
I think I'm just tapped.
Liam was right.
Look, like I understand. When you guys get to watch 90, though, fucking talk because I'm tapped.
yeah.
There's
Let's say when
nothing
you're
else.
at Watch 90.
Yeah, I don't think Dave's gonna get to watch 90. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At
look,
Dave's
I got,
rate, he'll be lucky to hit fucking 60.
I got a
It's
plan
over.
in the works, but
No, you don't. Listen,
yeah, I
don't
do.
do that
Yeah, I
because
do.
you don't.
Just saying, I got some stuff coming.
Yeah,
through-
yeah. Dave's
through the
gonna do
pipeline.
3 hell months in a row and beat you, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking right.
It's gonna happen.
This movie's over. This movie's done. There's nothing else
Yeah.
to talk about. It's over. We did it.
Yeah, it's gonna be over when I win this.
We've
competition,
mastered the
bud.
master of disguise.
No, we haven't. We're not done yet. We still have several months.
Yeah, and you know what, listeners? If you're listening to this, don't listen to the other episodes that are going to suck, okay?
What? No.
What?
We're done.
We have fun guests lined up.
Yeah, we have fun guests lined up, but this movie's done, okay? There's
You're-
nothing
I
else to say.
I think you're underestimating our ability to do things. I think this is
Look,
just a
I'm
sad
still
month
gonna
for us.
fucking watch. No, I'm still gonna fucking watch. I'm still gonna come up with stupid theories and everything. But the movie's done. It's over.
It
Okay?
isn't.
That's. I mean.
It's
You're
over.
like, it's like the ending after the credits was like, what are you doing here? Go away. The movie's over.
Yeah, the movie's over.
But guess what?
Okay.
Guess what? Guess what? The slapping dummy man hasn't whispered yet that he's sad.
all right. You got
That's what these last few episodes are gonna be.
This is you. I'm
all
sad.
us being sad.
Sad.
That's you. I am sad.
That's what I'm saying.
And then it's gonna come back. The movie's not over yet, and it's gonna be like, okay, bye-bye. And then when we think it's over, we're gonna get a shot of the cuteness saying, "No more dog food."
No more dog.
So I'm just saying, this movie's not done yet, buddy boy.
Yeah.
Just because the
we're
credits
not
have
even
rolled doesn't
close.
mean it's over.
Yeah. You got
I,
those Marvel after credit scenes.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
You
I
are.
hope I am.
You absolutely are wrong. I think you're being way too pessimistic about this.
It's hard to be positive right now. Okay.
But honestly, that's it for me. I'm done with this episode,
Yeah.
and this is a shorter episode than normal for us. So maybe
Maybe
like
we are done.
we're not done, but we're definitely ramping down a little bit.
We're kind of like,
just-
I don't think we're ramping down. I think we're more like in the refinement process. We've got like a lot of notes. Like Chris brought a lot to the table with this podcast, I feel like. And
Yes, and Chris, we appreciate you. Thank you.
honestly, taking
Yeah.
what you gave us, I'm gonna be growing from here. Like
Look,
next month, it's gonna
okay.
be interesting. Just saying.
Listen,
Dave, you have not provided lore in like a minute, okay?
Yeah, Dave,
Like
yeah,
it's
I don't
coming.
know.
I'm just saying.
Dave's not the lore master anymore, in my opinion.
Yeah, Mr. Weiner.
feel-
Okay.
I don't want to get into it, obviously, but like I've had a very tough year, I would say, and like still, after all the horrible things that have happened to me this year, I think this movie's the worst thing.
That is,
That's a hell of a
obviously,
testament.
we're not going to get into the personal details of it, but that's a big statement considering the things you've been through this year.
So, it's just I this movie has ruined this year for me. And honestly, I'm considering backing out for next year right now. I'm at a low point.
Okay. We have always said that we will make that decision in December. So we are not like we're not gonna do this bullshit. We're like, I'm backing out. Not yet.
I'm not saying I am, but listen, it's just been.
You're preemptively like thinking about it though.
I don't
Consider
trust
this in
myself.
December.
I don't trust myself to not make it a competition next year. That's what I'm worried about.
No, that's
Ooh,
the
Michael's
thing.
afraid of
You
losing
need
to the
to
lore
improve
master.
yourself to not make it a competition.
gonna
Once
be
a
tough for
week.
me.
If we
It's
do
gonna
it
be
next
tough
year,
for
we
me.
are not competing.
It's going to be tough for me not to make it a competition.
That's on you, because
Dave, you
I
wanna
am not
compete next
competing
year?
next year.
Dave,
If we
you
do
wanna
this
compete?
next year, I'm not competing. I'm not doing extra bullshit.
Dave.
I mean, I would highly consider it, maybe,
Okay, all right, we'll
Like
talk
it-
about it.
possibly.
We'll talk about it.
It will
Like
happen.
we'll see. We'll see. Again, we're not committing to next year yet. We don't even know a movie yet, but we.
I mean, you're complaining about like the number of watches. You're in like third place, bud. Like catch the
Alright.
fuck up.
No.
Oh my god. Anyway, okay.
Listen, thank
this
you
is
for
it.
listening.
This is the end of the episode. Chris, thank you so much for being here.
Seriously,
Thank
though,
you
Chris,
guys.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, good.
Chris, is there anything
hearty
you would like to
lore.
promote before we go?
Yeah, absolutely. First, I just want to thank you guys for letting me be on here. I'll be sending all of your all of my therapy bills to you guys because I'm gonna need it after this month.
Listen, you wouldn't be the first. You wouldn't be
Yeah.
the first.
I'm very excited to not watch this movie for a very long time. But I did want to plug some stuff. I stream on Twitch. So that's twitch.tv/BigAmish69. No spaces. Pretty funny name. And then you can find me on Spotify. I make dumb music. I mean, my client makes dumb music under the name Big Amish.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah,
Different
good save,
different
good.
person. Yeah, but
Yeah.
thank you guys again for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us.
Honestly, like nice hearty lore we picked up this episode. Real. I
It was
feel
good shit.
enriched. I feel enriched.
There was
I
good
wanted to
things. We
bring
got to
heat.
talk about Metallica for a second. That made me happy.
I
Yeah.
feel sad.
Same.
I just feel sad. I don't.
Yeah, it's okay, Mike. We all love you. Mwah,
Alright.
mwah, mwah, mwah.
See everyone
Don't-
next
don't go
month.
that far.
All right, bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.
All right, all you turtos and turtettes. That's the show. Have yourself a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.